Good morning. It's time for Healing with the Blues. Healing with the Blues. That's right, I'm healing with the blues. I've got nothing left to lose. That's why I'm healing with the blues. Such a pain inside. The love that's there for me, I have denied. I've never had the blues this long, this deep, this wide. That's why I'm healing with the blues. Because blues is a healer. It healed me. It can heal you too. It's all about vibration. It's all about acknowledging those negative feelings, honoring them, owning them, and saying, yeah, it's okay for me to be a human being and not have to try to be perfect. And we're going to talk about perfect today a little bit. I have my friend Robin here with me. I want to tell you a bit about her before I bring her on. She is a world-class energy worker and the secret weapon behind the scenes for busy women around the world. She's been coined the energetic bushwhacker by these powerful influencers who have experienced the result of clean energy circulating through their lives and businesses. She has her own method called the Juno method of energetic clearing for busy women, which is the primary modality used to align these high performers to their ideal results. Robin's amazing. She helped me so much when I had COVID. I think it was the second time I had it. But here she is right now. Here's Robin. Hi, Robin.
Hey there. How are
I'm
you?
so glad you're here. I'm good. I'm really good. And I'm really glad you're here because it's important for us to talk about these things with others who want to be accessing their experience of energy and clearing and healing. And I wanted to read this poem today that I posted the other day called Fear by Khalil Gibran. It is said that before entering the sea, a river trembles with fear. She looks back at the path she's traveled from the peaks of the mountains, the long winding road crossing forests and villages. And in front of her, she sees an ocean so vast that to enter there seems nothing more than to disappear forever. But there is no other way. The river can't go back. Nobody can go back. To go back is impossible in existence. The river needs to take the risk of entering the ocean because only then will fear disappear. Because that's where the river will know it's not about disappearing into the ocean, but becoming the ocean. I love that poem because it really speaks to what we're talking about here, too, doesn't it?
It really does. It really does. And I love how it says, the river can't go back. I
Yeah.
mean that's the thing with fear, man. I mean, it's it's because we keep going back into those old, narratives and
Mm.
bringing them forward as if they're still truth, and they're not.
Yeah. You can't go back. You can heal the past, though. This is the part that I want to make sure people understand. It's like every time you go back and you relive that experience, you're driving it deeper into your subconscious.
Yep.
And so when you do that, then once it's in your subconscious, now your body, mind, spirit's acting on it as if it's happening right now.
Yep. Yep.
And what we want to do, and I know that you do this in your healing too, is disconnect us from those experiences so that we can be done with them finally, once and for all. Like
As,
enough.
yeah, as much as we can be, right? Until the
Mhm.
next level is ready to be healed again,
Right.
and that.
It's true. I mean, I talk to people about working with them for long periods of time, for 6 months or 3 months. And the reason why is because layers of these situations, incidents, experiences come back up, not because you didn't clear it, because there's a new level of it ready to be healed. So things come back up in your life because they're ready to be healed.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
it's not that you're, I thought I took care of this. Don't worry, you did. Now we're going to take care of this part of it, right? So
yeah. And I think, excuse me, I'm sorry. I think when because we use the word healed, I think people put it in that same category as like when a wound heals. When a wound heals, okay, sometimes you're left with a scar, but in general, once you get that, it doesn't open up again. But the emotional stuff, especially the fear, it's different because it's programmed into your brain.
Yeah.
And it's, and like those neural pathways, they've dried up, but they never go away. It's just you've learned how to not look at it the same way,
Mm-hmm.
and remove
Exactly.
that emotional chore until something comes up that, your brain's like, oh, hey, wait, we have this thing. Let's go back here.
Yeah. Here's a little piece of crap you forgot to put in the bin. Oh,
Yeah.
you're ready to put this in the bin now? Okay, good. Now we can do that. So it's not a judgment about whether you've done it right or done it good or, all of those things. It's really about allowing yourself to feel the next, okay, so this is the next wave of healing that's coming up. It's interesting that you talk about the scar because I put up a post a while ago that said time does not heal all wounds. It doesn't.
It
Time
doesn't.
actually lets it scar over, but the wound can still be working on you. There's a thing that we do in in chiropractic and maybe in other modalities. I don't know, but because I'm coming at this from where I am, but
Yeah.
we use uh, organic wheat germ oil, little capsules, pierce the capsule and squeeze the oil out because it has good vitamin E in it and all the other chemicals in wheat germ oil that make the vitamin E work, and put that on all the scars on our body, all the scars, because we don't know what's still trying to heal. And when we give it that way of using that to heal, we've had people had their scars fall off and
Oh,
underneath
wow.
is beautiful new skin. So we do that energetically. Both Robin and I do that kind of work. And um, it's not about like digging underneath the scar, it's about releasing what the scar is holding in so that the scar doesn't need to be there anymore.
Yeah.
And when we're talking about neuroplasticity and how the brain can continue to work in a new way, this is what we're talking about by removing, or I would say dissolving those those pathways that are leading to upset and guilt and shame and blame and all those negatives that we would like to carry around with us a lot of the time and not deal with, because frankly what happens when we try to deal with them on our own is we get kind of stuck in a loop. And that's why Robin and I do the work we do, because we don't want you to get stuck in the loop. We've both been there. We know what that is. And
For
so
sure.
it's, yeah, so it's more about like having somebody on the outside of the bottle be able to read the label that you're putting up. It's hard to read the label when you're inside. So
That's the
it's
truth.
helpful to have another person there to see it. So Robin,
And
tell us more about the I posted the other day because Robin gives energy readings for the week, and she did one the other day. What was that, Sunday or Monday? It was
I think
Monday.
it was Sunday. Sunday, I think I do them every
Sunday. I
day, but
like.
the
I
one
feel like
that
the
you
last
related.
3 days have been 4 days. I don't know what's
But I
going
but
on.
I think you read it on Monday or watched it on Monday or
Yeah, I
something. I
did.
do.
And Monday, real early. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the energy this week, it's got the potential to be pretty turbulent. I do those weekly readings on Sundays, and then I do a daily reading because I feel like each day has its own little tweak. So like we started out where it was talking about the energy was going to be turbulent, and then Monday was talking about stormy skies, and I was like, oh man. And learning how to, and this goes right along with the fear, learning how to be your own leader, like the leader of your mind.
Mhm.
And so when those fear thoughts come up and everything, it's like literally taking your mind and pointing it in the direction you want to go. And I'm not talking about bypassing what's going on and all of that. We need to be aware, right? But like mulling it over and just continually digging into it is not helpful. It's just not helpful. So if you can just acknowledge that and look at where you want to go, I mean, it's a beautiful thing. Um, but yeah, and the other thing is, you brought up judgment before. It's that that is a dream stealer
Oh man,
and a fear monger. Yeah,
it
I
is.
mean, it just and it's like if you're if the healing of your fear is taking longer than you want it to, it's not because there's something wrong with you. It's not because you went to the wrong healer. Sometimes it can be, but most of the time it's not, right? I mean,
Mhm.
if you followed your intuition, you got the right person. It's 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 all about just okay. It needs to take longer.
Yeah.
That's all. Or or maybe I need to add somebody else into the mix or something like that.
Or maybe
There's
I
no
need to practice what I'm being taught.
or
I'm trying
practice
to
what
get
I mean.
my people to be compliant with practicing the tools that we're giving them. And sometimes they
That's
just
a huge
aren't.
thing. Yeah, yeah, and that's a
I
huge
get it.
thing. See, now you're gonna get me now I'm gonna go off on a whole other tangent, so I'm gonna try not
That's
to.
okay. Two
But
Jersey
it's
girls
like
sitting around chatting. That's what we're doing.
but, but even there, like, what ends up happening is I don't know if you see this in your practice, I would bet you do. People don't recognize or they're afraid of who they'll be, how they'll be, what life will look like without those fears. Because they've consumed so much of their life and their personality
Yep.
for so many years that when it's gone, they don't know what to do. They're like they have this empty space and they don't know how to fill it.
Well, I would say that what usually happens is that space is immediately filled with more creativity, more peace, more love, more opportunities. The universe abhors a vacuum. So
Yep.
when we start clearing out some of those things, that like if you follow along with the tools that I teach, and I'm sure Robin does too, that our clients are like saying, how do I do this for myself? Well, there's very simple ways that you can do, and we've done them here, some of them here. um, but if you do those things, what happens? Your mind quiets down. That mean girl doesn't yell at you so much. When
Yeah.
you look in the mirror, you don't have those same thoughts that you had when you looked in the mirror before. And you get more love, and you love breeds more love. So it just magnifies itself, and you don't have to, like, I used to think about that too before I went to massage school. I was like, gee, I hope I don't get real flaky, like I
Yeah,
wasn't
right.
already. But that was back in 1986 when I went to massage school, and I met a lot of people who were like really kind of out there. And what I really liked was that I could still discuss anatomy and physiology, pretty basic physical earth kind of thing, and bring that all the way out to what spirit has for us in that kind of esoteric spiritual talk, because they are related and they are never not related. And people are like, well, how does that affect your physical health? Well, it's just everything. It all affects it
Oh
all.
my
I mean,
god.
so you're a spiritual being and you're having this physical experience. Why not work on spirit first and let yourself enjoy the experience of having it manifest physically? And that
Yeah.
way you can stay out of fear and you can go into love, because you can't do both. You can either do one or the other. And so as you're doing that, there are going to be times when it's more difficult. Like when Robin was doing that weekly reading, I was awake from 3 a.m. to 5 a.m. wondering why I couldn't shut off my negativity. And then I listened to what she was talking about in that reading, and I was like, oh, well, that's why I'm being influenced by what's going on in the world too, just like everybody else is.
Yeah.
And you might not realize that something happening on the other side of the world is affecting you, but it does. And if you're any kind of, intuitive or empath, or you're exercising that part of your being, then you may feel these things, and it may, seriously disrupt you. And that's why we're having this conversation today, because it was so obvious when I was listening to Robin's reading. I'm like, oh, well, duh, that's what's happening.
And it's interesting because some people like tap into that energy even before it happens.
Mm,
I have a client who she stays away from the news completely.
mm-hmm,
And so she had no idea what was going on in Europe. And and so a couple of days before, everything actually started, she's like, Robin, I'm feeling so anxious, so nervous.
yeah.
And and so then we started tapping in, and I'm like, well, did you know that this, and this, you're probably feeling the escalation? And
Mm-hmm.
she's like, oh no, we did what we could to get her out of it. It's hard sometimes for people who are empaths to disconnect from that energy. It takes a lot of
Yeah.
practice.
It does.
Takes a
It,
lot.
it does. For some people, it takes a lot of practice, but it's also about being vigilant about your own energy. And we're
Yeah,
so used to ignoring ourselves. And, we talk about self care all the time and how important it is. And people are like, oh, I'm so tired of hearing about self care. I've heard this several times lately. I'm so tired
yeah,
of hearing about self care. And I'm like, well, you're probably tired of hearing about it because you're not doing it.
yeah,
That's the Jersey girl in me.
yeah. Right. it's you know, but self care, but it's also self care gets promoted, at least in the outside world, in
Yeah.
ways that are they're nice. I mean, they're nice. It's nice to take a bubble bath, like heck yeah, right?
Yeah.
But take it one step
Yeah.
further and put the Epsom salts in the bath so that you are clearing your energy field. Now you're gonna
Yes.
start, right? It's like, because that's where my self-care comes in. I got the whole Jersey thing going on, with the leopard print and the dark lipstick and yada yada
I'm
yada.
just shaking
Like
my
I was
slippers. Woo-hoo.
I can't take my boots off. My boots are leopard,
I
just
just
for the
I just
or
got these.
cheetah or
And I'm
whatever
like,
this
oh,
is.
those are perfect.
I dig them. I dig them. You know, I'm into all that. My who, but at the same time, more important, man. Prayer, whatever kind of prayer work works for you, and clearing your energy field in whatever way works for you. The
Yeah,
times that we are in, it calls for doing it more than once a day. And
exactly.
and it calls for doing it in several different ways. Like my husband David, like he's in charge of the sage. I can sage the house, I do the prayer, I do the whole thing.
General of
He's
Sage.
right, yeah, he really is. He's the general sage. But he's got a different connection
Mhm.
with that particular medicine.
Yeah,
And so when he sages, it's like whoosh, you know, and it's not because somebody else is doing it.
right.
But and at the same time, you gotta find what works for you. Like this has been for my past 3 years or 4 years, also one of my things. Just stop thinking that just because you shower once a day, you should only clear your energy once a day.
No,
Beyond
you
that.
might have to do it 15 times an hour. You might have to do it as much as it shows up in your mind. And this is the part that I want to really emphasize. If you ignore it over and over again, you will pay the price for that. And it
Yeah.
won't be, it will be just like, you'll be just like, oh, everybody has that, or everybody does that. Yeah, but you don't have
But
to.
you don't have to. Yeah.
You don't have to. And the fact is that when you're buying into those things that everybody does, like, oh, everybody gets diabetes and everybody gets high blood pressure. I'm dealing with both of those right now. And it's not because I was a bad person. It's not because of anything in particular. I'm uncovering reasons. I'm uncovering ways to deal with it every day, all the time, saying, oh, it's because I ignored what I was being shown to do for me, because women in general, and this happens to men too, ignore their own selves because they think they're doing it as a benefit, because it's better for me to pay attention to out there instead of in here. And I can tell you that it's not. It absolutely isn't. Pay attention to
Mm-mm.
what's going on in here. Pay attention to those intuitive hits, we call them, those intuitive hits that say, you should be having some water on your desk and you didn't put any water on your desk. So you better, as soon as you're done, go get the water and start drinking the water. It just stuff like that. That's just so simple. And
Yeah.
if you ignore, you're going to have to pay the price. Oh, everybody gets that. Oh, everybody has hormone problems. Oh, everybody no, they don't. And
Mm-mm.
I don't have to either. So when I go to the MD who wants to give me medicine because they're doctors of medicine, I say, you know what? I'm going to add to this, and I'm going to be doing this, this, and this. And then eventually I won't need that crutch anymore.
Yep. Yep.
So staying out of fear is very important. It's and staying out of constantly giving and not receiving for yourself is very, very important. If you don't have that balance, it's not going to work.
And the thing is, they talk about the giving, 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 and not receiving and not doing for yourself. A sign of low self-esteem, which, that's a whole other conversation. But it's
Mm.
also related to the fear.
Yeah.
It's all
What will I
because the
find if I
fear,
look in here?
yeah, but also afraid of, if I take care of myself first, they're afraid that they're gonna miss something for somebody else, and somebody else's, and that's very disempowering to the other person. Like,
Yeah.
our deep caring for them, that over caring is actually disempowering them, because we can't be there all the time. And so we have to let them be able to handle,
Right.
their stuff too, while we're in the shower or in the tub, or, those, I don't know, hope don't want to insult anybody, but, like, those moms who, with the little kids, like, they wouldn't close and lock the bathroom door, to go to the bathroom, you
Mm.
put the little ones where they're safe. But I had friends that, like, the kids were in the bathroom while the mom is going to, and they're now, as adults, they are nervous wrecks. They are just nervous wreck, and it's a shame. It's like,
Yeah. Yeah. You're going to model behavior that your children are going to pick up. And this is what I talk about from 0 to 6 years old. You're just imitating your primary caregiver. So
yeah,
what if you're okay? So look back and say, okay, when my kids were 0 to 6 years old, what did I do? What was my awareness? How did
yeah,
I behave? It's not what you do any day, it's what you do every day. So if you had an
yeah,
outburst once in a while, that's not the problem. That's not a problem. Kids see
yeah,
that. It's no big deal. It's what you're doing every single day that they're going to pick up on, that becomes their unconscious behavior. And same for you, because you were also a child from 0 to 6.
yep,
So what if your primary caregivers were people who were totally unaware or felt bad about themselves and modeled this behavior of low self-esteem to you, and then you pick it up and then you hand it down? And it's like there has to be a moment, and I feel like this is what this time we're in right now, called ascension, is really all about, is being aware that you don't have to do that. You don't have to have the unconscious behavior. You can actually
yep,
have intentional behavior, and
mm-hmm,
that's what we're doing as healers. We're not doing the healing, we're allowing this to go through us. We're vessels for this to come through us so that people can become more aware and more awake and
Yeah.
and be doing things intentionally instead of just like, oh, that showed up in my life. I don't know why that showed up in my life. Listen, there's always a reason, but you get to assign what the lesson is to what the situation is. So as you're
That,
assigning the lesson and you're looking for what the lesson, and the lesson isn't about somebody else.
yeah.
Somebody said, what's the lesson? Well, that I'll never be around that person again. I'm like, yeah, that's not it.
Yeah.
The
And
lesson's always about you.
yeah. And it's like you get to assign the lesson, and you get to assign the meaning, and like to get to the point to where you assign the lesson, it's like, rather than seeing this as, why does this always happen to me, which is more victim, right? It's like,
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
right, this sucks.
Yeah.
This really sucks.
Right.
It keeps happening again and again. And so then you get to choose to turn around and decide, there's a lesson for me here to learn.
Yeah.
And
And your kids
so,
will see that too, by the way.
yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, for sure.
It's not
For
too
sure.
late. It's not too late to learn.
It's
And it's not too late to share this with other people either. I
for
mean,
sure.
here's the thing is that we're talking about not an army. We're not talking about a nation. We're talking about a whole movement of people moving to intentional manifestation and living with co-creation with God, because you're always co-creating
Yeah.
with God.
Yeah.
And if I'm using the G word and it triggers you, you definitely need to talk to one of us because we need to clear that up for you.
Yeah,
But
right.
but but this, let's say when you're asking for what you want, Robin's going to ask for something different that she wants, that I want, that we don't all want the same thing. You're never taking away from somebody else to want what you want. I had a client yesterday that said, why can't I be satisfied with what I have? And I said, I don't know. What's going on with that? She said, I said, where's the thankfulness? She said, oh, I have this idea that the more thankful I am, the more stuck I'll be in this situation because I'm so thankful for this, I won't get anything better. I'm like, wow,
Oh.
let's clear that up right away. So if you're
Okay.
thankful for what you have, yeah, it was kind of interesting because I've heard this kind of talk before, but I hadn't heard it put that way. If I'm too thankful for what I have, I won't get anything better that I want.
Yeah, that's when I see that one come up, I'm just like, all right, time to
Time to
work.
dig in. Yeah,
Let's go. Let's get rid
Like
of
you
that.
don't have a work
Oh
yeah.
my
address
gosh.
listed on your.
My
So we
everything's
cleared.
talking to
So
me.
things are talking to you. So we
I
cleared up
have
that obligation to
oh,
think that being thankful would stop more good things from coming.
yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah,
so
for sure.
important for us to remember that there is love creates more love. You can't run out of it. It's never going to stop.
Nope.
Never. Those are the one time I'll say never and always.
I right.
You will
And I've
always have
got
it and it will
yep,
never stop.
yep.
And if you leave it, it'll be right where you left it when you come back to it.
That's it. Yeah, that's for sure. That's a beautiful thing. But
Yeah.
I've got 4 questions that I use, like, when you're in that space
Mhm.
of wanting something and then you're a little fearful and blah, blah, blah. So can I share them real quick? Because
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
these are
yeah.
yeah, so these are what we use, like, in that interim
I'm going to put them in the
before you
chat
clear.
too.
Okay, so the first one is this something I wanna be, do, or have? Right? And so this is just to give yourself clarification and get yourself to say yes to your desire, right? That's number 1.
Mhm.
Number 2 is being, doing, or having this taking me closer to my goal? So goal could be um a manifestation, it could be a feeling like the goal of becoming a more confident and empowered person. So just keep that in mind. The third one is being, doing, or having this in alignment with more life to all. Because universal law says more life. Everything that we do is all about more life and more expansion. And it's why we are allowed to have more if we're doing it from that that right space instead of trying to fill the void,
Mm-hmm.
that love needs to fill. And then, so you want yes to those first three questions.
Mm-hmm.
This fourth question, you want it to be a no. Does being, doing, or having this violate the rights of others? Or does it really what it means is like, does it take away someone else's right to choose? And
Mm.
that's a huge one, that last one. And I remember when I first learned that from my mentor, I was like, oh, because I'm divorced and remarried but divorced. And I remember saying to my mentor, but I told my ex-husband I wanted that divorce and I wanted to leave. And I felt like I was taking away his choice. And what he said to me was, did you give him options beforehand? Did you give him the option to heal and repair the marriage? I said, yeah. He said, well, then you didn't take away the right to choose, his right to choose. He chose not to heal and repair the marriage. And that was huge. So I just want
Mm.
to like throw that example out there because that last one can really trip you up. But the thing is, if you get those three yeses and then a no, what you are looking for is a valid and real desire, and you get to have it.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't have it, if you're not achieving it, if you're not reaching it, then you do have some kind of fear blocking you. And it's definitely time to talk to Tanya or myself.
And I'll put Robin's information in here so you can connect with her. If you're feeling resonance with what she's saying and you want to work with her, be my guest. Robin's wonderful. If you want to work with me, I'm happy to do it. It's why we're here. We
Yeah,
are
there's
so grateful to be able to do the work that we do and to have it make a difference in people's lives and have it ripple outward in all directions. We're just happy to be able to do this work. So thank you. Thank you so much, Robin, for your time
thank
today. Thank you for
you.
being with me. A couple of Jersey
Thank
girls
you.
with our leopard print.
Yeah, I know.
So see, we're still the same people that we were before we became healers, before we started talking about all this airy fairy stuff. I know that I say airy fairy, but listen, this is the nuts and bolts of actual being in the world. So
Yeah,
it's not that airy fairy.
yeah.
And I can't wait to go down the shore with you and get a cheesesteak.
There you go.
We go
There
back
you
to
go.
gluten and beef if that ever happens. And I'm really just so tickled that we got to do this today. I think we should do it more often because it's just so much
Totally. I
fun to
had
be
such a
with you.
blast. Yeah, you too.
Thank you, everybody, for being here today. And we'll close with a prayer. Okay. So
Awesome.
go ahead and take a nice deep breath. Imagine that you're breathing up through the top of your head, up through that violet crown chakra, up into love light source energy, up into the center of the universe, wherever that is. And as you exhale, let that energy come back down through all layers, all levels, down through the center of your body, through all the chakras, down through your feet, into the core of the earth. As I say these words in the I am, for everyone listening, even use in the replay. Did I just say use? I did say use. That's not what I usually say. God is all there is. Love is all there is. Light, life, and source energy is all there is. And I recognize right here and right now that I am one with God, love, light, life, and source energy. And I'm never, ever separated from this energy. And if I feel separated, I know it's a false feeling. And all I have to do is breathe in, inspiration, inviting spirit in, and exhale gratitude. Thank you. I'm so grateful to all my guides, guardians, and angels, all those spirit helpers cheering me on from the other side. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm grateful to those here in the physical plane that are showing me the reflections of myself so that I can do the things that I need to do for myself and notice when I want to create an intention for myself using those four questions and having it become real in my life. And I'm so grateful for that. I'm grateful that I understand to any degree whatsoever that I'm a spiritual being having a human experience. And I'm grateful, so grateful that I have the superpower of choice. It's so wonderful. I authorize my subconscious to let it be so, to dissolve any constrictions or contractions keeping me from my highest good. I say that it's so, and I let it go, knowing that it's already done. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. And so it is. And so it is. Thanks again, Robin.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, we'll talk soon. Okay. Bye,
Bye.
everybody.